So we do long rein our horses when it comes to our groundwork in preparation to ride. So that might be one of the reasons you'll see us long rein, but we'll also long rein maybe for a horse that needs some correction under saddle. So a horse that maybe isn't really that pleasurable to ride, or even just further education. So it could be teaching maybe some of the lateral maneuvers in dressage that we might also teach on the ground. So I'm going to go right back to the start, but quickly I'm going to just talk a little bit about gear. So our long reins are rope long reins. They have the same connection knot that we use on our halter and lead. So you can see it here. I'll use that to connect to the bit, which means I've got no metal clips interfering with the contact, as well as just a nice smooth connection. The other thing that I'll just quickly go over is, one of my favorite long reining bits that I'll use. You'll see it's got a lot of shape to follow the curvature of the horse's mouth. It's also a 3-piece bit. So you got the 1, 2, and the 3 with the barrel joint. So that stops the nutcracker effect that might get created in the long reining process, as well as it's got the copper rollers just to help keep the tongue relaxed and help the horse salivate. And also I like it to have a little bit of a D or a sleeve like this bit. So it acts as a bit of a tom thumb that when I'm starting a horse, if I pull on the left rein, that the side of the right side of the bit just pushes and helps guide that horse into that flexion that I might want in a snaffle. My long reins going back are on an 8-meter length. That's what I find is the right length. And I also like using rope so it slides through our roller, which our roller here has multiple rings protruding from the roller. So the different connections that I can make with my reins, or I can put my reins through the different rings, will tell me the horse's level of education. So the lower the ring set, the greener the horse. The higher the ring set, the more educated the horse. So being a horse that we're just starting, I want to keep it low. And the reason I want to keep it low is I want to try to keep, a relatively direct line to the corner of that horse's mouth. And if you ride a lot of young horses, just relate that to a wider bridge. So when you're riding a young one, your hands might be a little bit further apart. When you're riding a more educated horse, then you might find that your hands are a little closer together. So I'm going to connect it this way. And what that does is when I pull, I can get a good connection to the bit. I can get contact to the inside hind, which will disengage his hindquarter, but it prevents him from turning inside out. So if I pull that rein, you see how it creates that bit of a barrier? He can only take his nose just off center, but past that, he actually ends up hitting that rein. And all I'll look at doing is just driving my horse out on a circle and seeing if I can create a little bit of shape by asking the horse to have his nose in slightly to create a little bit of balance, but hold that circle, okay? So he's just walking that circle. He's just got his nose in. I'll just see if I can keep him focused and walking around me. Not too dissimilar to what we did in our ground control introduction to Liberty, like there, okay? If I was starting a horse and doing this for the first time, I would really be keeping it very simple, and I'd drive my horse out onto a larger circle. And as we get past the camera shot here, what I'll then do is pull the rein and disengage the horse's hindquarter, like so. I'll then proceed to the horse, get in line with the roller, and ask the horse to come in with some lateral flexion, okay? Just teaching the horse how to come off the bit. That's all I'm looking for initially, okay? So it's really important to teach him how to give laterally so that when you pick up vertically with 2 reins, which we'll get to here in a moment, that horse understands, I can't go right, I can't go left, where should I go? And he starts to look to soften to 2 reins and not push against it, which is really important.